I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into a powerful book that is called The Lost Caravan. It is written by an Emmy Award nominated writer by the name of Marshall Riggan. It is a thrilling novel that takes us on a daring quest as four old friends from New York Explorers Club set out to find a legendary caravan that vanished in 180 AD. What begins as an adventurous lark soon turns into a high-stakes struggle for survival in the treacherous sands of the Arabian Peninsula. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Books to Life Marketing for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Marshall, great to see you here today on Spotlight. Thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you.
This is quite an original book, quite an original story. Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind it?
Well, I think the inspiration uh, began when I was in high school. The library had a special section on explorers and adventure and sea stories and explorers of the polar regions. And I just devoured those books. And I thought when I was going to write a book, it would be fun to write one that would be comfortable sitting with those others that I enjoyed so long ago. So the inspiration probably started, 50 years ago or
That's
more.
very cool. Very cool. I'm glad the story finally made it into print. It's been brewing up in your head for about half a century. So
Yeah,
that's great. But I do think those long held ideas are often the best because you are doing the rewrites and the writes and the editing all up in your head in that, which is the best word processor of all. Let's give the folks at home an overview of the book. Briefly tell us what the Lost Caravan is about.
well, you outlined it pretty much. It's these four old friends, members of the New York Explorers Club, who decide to search for this legendary caravan that was lost 180 AD somewhere in the empty quarter of the Arabian Peninsula. And these characters all, uh, when they were young, had remarkably adventurous careers. But the years went by, they grew older, and now their adventuring is restricted to evenings of drinking and reminiscence in the Explorers Club bar. But the book is then about them having this one last great adventure.
Wonderful, wonderful. It has the makings of a movie, no doubt. It's got the Arabian Peninsula. It's got these four old buddies who are tired of just having a beer and talking about the old days, and they want a new adventure. And then the exciting adventure that you've created. Have you thought about this as a film or a TV series?
No, I guess I haven't. I I'm a I've enjoyed writing it as um, as a book, and it's hard for me to translate it into. For instance, I would hate to be tasked to write a screenplay about it. It
Mm,
would be very difficult for me to do.
yeah. It's hard for you to let go of your baby and whittle it down to 120 pages
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah,
and cut to the chase. But their work is out there now, so you never know whose hands it's going to wind up in. So somebody might want to turn it into a screenplay and a film. I
that'd
think it'd
be
be a great one. So Hollywood, if you're listening, this is a book ready to be made into a movie, no doubt. Now, you've got some experience with filmmaking. You're an Emmy Award nominated writer. Tell us a little bit about that honor and a little bit about your writing career.
well. was a journalism graduate
Mhm.
from college, and I soon realized that a documentary film was just like writing a feature for a newspaper, except you get a lot of help, cameramen and all that. And so I went into the documentary film writing field and have written maybe 200 documentaries over the years. And I've also ghost written novels for other would be writers. And I've uh, done, uh, well, my own novels and a lot of short stories over that period of time.
Amazing. You're a very prolific writer then, and the documentary credentials you have are amazing. And so congratulations on that, and congratulations on this book. It is terrific. Is there a message that you hope that readers take away from this Lost Caravan story?
Well, I didn't intend to write a message book. Uh, I wanted to write a book that would give the reader pleasure, that
Mhm.
would take them out of themselves and sweep them into this exotic, faraway adventure. But if there is a message, I think it is you're never too old to embrace adventure. And another sub theme would be the power of friendship.
Exactly. Two very, very important things as we journey through this life to remember how important our friends are and to never stop doing, never stop exploring, never stop living, never stop enjoying. One of
Right.
the intriguing characters in your book is a former Russian cosmonaut. Tell us how he wound up in this story.
Well, I wrote a documentary on the Soviet space program uh, for Smithsonian Air and Space Museum,
Mhm.
and that it that character came out of that experience. I mean, it's a fictional character, but I'm sure there are characters like that or have been.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's where it came from.
Another intriguing character is the runaway wife of Osama bin Laden's brother. Tell us about that.
Oh, Rhonda. uh, she came purely out of my imagination, or perhaps not so purely. And uh, I needed a woman in the story, and she just sort of popped into my mind.
Mm. Yeah. Well, she's a very intriguing choice, so I think it worked out well. Are there any plans for a sequel or a continuation of the adventures of these characters?
You know, I think not.
Mhm.
I'm pretty much involved in moving on.
Mhm.
Um, I have a new novel coming out in fall
Mhm.
called The Glass Guitar. I have for decades been writing this book set in Ireland, but I never have been able to get it right. But I plan to get it right. And when that happens, I plan to begin on a novel set in Mexico.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you are prolific indeed. Those are three books you mentioned that'll be forthcoming. The Glass Guitar, a novel set in Ireland, and a novel set in Mexico. We're looking forward to all three of them. Can you give us a brief overview of what The Glass Guitar will be about?
The Glass Guitar is a satire,
Mhm.
and it's kind of a cross between uh, Gulliver's Travels and uh, Confederation of Dunces, if you remember that book.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's a kind of a wacky um, satire. on set in the time of Vietnam.
Wonderful. Well, that sounds like an intriguing book as well. This book we've been focusing on today is called The Lost Caravan. It's written by Marshall Riggan. It is a thrilling novel that takes us on a daring quest as four old friends from the New York Explorers Club set out to find a legendary caravan that vanished back in 180 AD. And what begins as an adventurous lark soon turns into a high-stakes struggle for its survival in the treacherous sands of the Arabian Peninsula. It's a wonderful book. It's a wonderful read. It'll have you turning the pages, and you will truly enjoy it. Marshall, thank you so much for being our guest today here on Spotlight.
Well, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed talking to you, sir. Thanks for your time. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time until next time on Spotlight.